How you guys doing? So, how many have read my books? Both of you? Two, three. Which ones did you read? Why does everybody read the second one? You read that one?
There we go.
There we go. That's my favorite.
It's still no Oz the Great and Powerful.
Hush.
It's still.
Hush.
Hey. I told you.
See, you remember where we're set? The setting of it?
I don't really remember that. It was back when I was just a little lad.
I don't think you read it. When knighthood was in flower.
Thank you.
We all read it. It was a romance novel. You'd like it. It was a romance novel. So here's, I'll jog your memory, sir. It took place in England, King Henry VIII time period, which is kind of a fun. I loved history. I mean, all my spare time, I would study and get my story straight regarding English history. My father was from Ireland, but I love English history. Didn't I?
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes. So it interfered sometimes with us, but I just loved it. So I wrote this story because based on the true facts of Mary Tudor was married to Louis XI, but she loved a man by the name of Charles Brayne. He was from Suffolk, and when her husband died, natural causes, I'm sure, she sent a letter to this man and said, look, if we're going to be together, you just better come over here quick because my brother Henry VIII is not going to approve this. You know, that classic, easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. So that's the context of the story, and a lot of history is silent on the details. So Alice and I, with her help and input, we crafted this beautiful romantic story about how that came and unfolded, as it like we think it might have unfolded. So that's what. Now, that's not what I titled it, of course. I titled it Charles Brayne because he's the guy in the... But they said that one. Yeah, she didn't approve of the story, that title, and so they ended up naming it When Knighthood Was in Flower. So, more artsy, I guess. But yeah, I was born in Indianapolis, and where the old city library in Indy sits today is actually the house I was born in. So isn't that ironic that I'd be born where later a library would sit? And my dad eventually moved me to Shelbyville, and that's where I grew up. It was the first graduating class of Shelbyville High School. 2 boys, myself, another fellow, and 4 ladies. 8 years later, she would graduate. Their class was a little bit bigger, and that's where I met her. I attended her graduation, and she's doing her thing, and it was like a little party, almost like prom without the dancing. You know, I mean, they just had poetry and they had all sorts of festivities going on, and she caught my attention. I'll be honest. So there's 8 years that separate us, but so I graduated, like I said, first class at Shelbyville High School. I was 16 at the time. So then I went to college at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and got become a lawyer. So I got my degree in that and came back because my dad was a lawyer as well. We covered estate law as our primary practice. And then when I turned 42 is when I first got the When Knighthood Was in Flower published. And immediately it just took off. It took off like fire. And top seller for 3 years straight and made us a heck of a lot of money. More than the legal practice was. So she liked the money. Then all of a sudden she was supportive of my writing. Before that she was like, you're always writing. And then the money starts rolling and she's like, oh, people paid for that crap. And I said,
He's a liar. I was always supportive.
well, now you say that.
Go on, honey.
So, anyway, so the money started coming in and we started to travel a little bit, and I slowly would just close down the lawyer business side and just continue to write. And the second book bears, and now this is so sweet, she got me a little statue I hear you all still have to this day based on that book. But did you read the book? Then you know that the cubs that were in the cave, right? The dad and the son both bring the cubs out, not him by himself. So why in the heck did you do that? That wasn't even true to the story. Because they both. So it should be a picture of him and his son holding.
So the dad took the picture.
Dad took the. I think she just want to save money.
I need to see the money. the grade school in his honor, the Charles Major Grade School.
Can't be mad at that when she answers it like that. That was very nice that she got my name on the school too. But anyways, yeah. So the fountain was in that, and then as I got older, I eventually got cancer of the liver, and so my final years we would travel to England. I'd never been to England prior to writing, but I was a student of the history, so my facts were right. But in that book, if you remember, it's from a narrator's perspective, so that's how I kind of got around not getting the diction exactly right. So we got to see some of the places that I wrote about and referred to, but then in November of 1912, I came back because my health had just crashed so bad that I had to be bedridden, and you know, you just never know. So she was quarantined from me for most of those final days, and finally passed away in July of 1913. But we were both still alive. We'd be celebrating our 131st anniversary this month on September 27th. But we never had any children, but we loved kids. Kids call me Uncle Charles, but we loved kids. What else, honey? What else did you want to share?
I can't think of a thing right now.
But it was made into a movie too. Did you see the movie? It was released in 1922. Anybody here from 19? Nope. No. You, sir? But 1922 they released. I was of course already gone, but she got to see it in the premiere. She hobnobbed with a bunch of famous people, presidents' wives and whatnot. My dad had worked or Thomas Hendricks had worked under my dad, so was later a vice president. So that was kind of neat too. But you got any questions for us?
What was the name of the movie? Where was it?
Same title, When Knighthood Was in Flower, 1922, silent movie.
Who
Go.
played him?
I was dead. I don't know. I heard there's a thing called IMDb. Go look it up.